Let's bring in Paul Dietrich, CEO and also Chief Investment Officer, Fairfax Global Markets. He joins us live out of New York. Paul, great to see you. Welcome back, and good evening your side. Thanks for staying back to do this with us. Your view is, and you've got a little bit of an inside track because I know you've been talking to some folks over at the U.S. TR's office that, you know, both sides, for a lot of different reasons, they need this to work. They need a win.
Yes, and I think we are going to see a win this weekend. I'm told by my friends some of them are with the president at the moment in Osaka, that a framework compromise has been in the works for several weeks in order to get the talks restarted. That's the goal of these meetings this weekend. The compromise is that China will agree to the tougher enforcement mechanisms that they had agreed to before, but then backed out of last month. And what the U.S. would do as part of the compromise is that we would give up a blanket ban on Huawei products, and there were some tariffs that were going to remain even after the agreement was signed. Those would go away. And so this allows both sides to save face. This allows both of them to declare a victory, and we start the talks again. And they were almost 90% complete before China backed out. So I don't think there's much more to go. You know, both of these guys have big egos, and both of these guys, they believe in the great man theory of history. They believe that only they and not their minions can negotiate this agreement, and neither one of them wants to go back home after this G20 Summit and admit that they couldn't even make a deal to restart talks.
All right,
I don't think they want to embarrass themselves in front of their friend Putin.
Got it. Got it. So the thing is, what kind of deal are we going to get, Paul?
Well, I think we're going to get basically the deal that we had before with some modest changes on the Huawei, and the tariffs will go away that the U.S. wanted, and China will have to agree to the tougher enforcement. It's going to be a good deal. I've seen bits and pieces of it, and it's a very tough deal. It's not like the old ones where the Chinese could cheat and steal, and then we'd go to the World Trade Organization, we would win, and then they'd keep appealing and appealing, and 10 years later, nothing had changed. Bob Lighthizer has been doing this for a long time.
You know, Paul, it sounds to me...
And he knows what he's doing.
Like you've got some friends in quite high places, if you've got some friends that are sort of hanging out with Donald Trump at the moment, which indicates to me that you definitely, as you've been saying, have quite a lot of insight into what's going on overseas at the moment, in fact, in Japan right now, and with Donald Trump and his administration and the way they're thinking. So let me ask you, since you've been getting this information from those friends in high places, what have you done investment-wise? I mean, how are you taking this information that you're getting and putting it into the stock market and putting it into your investment strategy? Because it is having such a big impact on the markets.
It is. I have positioned back in March, really, that almost a third of my equity portfolios are in Asia. And I had hoped that this trade agreement would have been completed before now, but the fact of the matter is, when a trade agreement is announced, and we will have a trade agreement eventually, China, Asia is really going to pop up.
Okay. So if you position Mac in March, is there anything that you're changing now based on the fact that now you are so confident that a deal is going to be done? I mean, if a third of your portfolio is in Asia, is there an argument to be made for more money to come over to this side of the world if, in fact, you're correct and a trade deal is done?
Well, I think you should have done that, as I did, some months ago. I'm now just waiting for that to happen. I mean, one of the things that one could say is good is that we're seeing China, we're seeing Europe lowering rates. There is more money out there. I believe we will have a rate cut probably in September. And so this is all good for the stock markets, and it will be good for the global stock markets.
All right, listen, Paul, stay right there. A lot more to talk to you about coming up in just a bit.